Nintendo, I gotta give you props. First of all, you guys started out with this robot chicken type animation thing going on here, and that shit was hilarious. But then right after that, you got Iwata and Reggie fighting like Dragon Ball Z style. One thing Nintendo will always have over Sony and Microsoft is that they are always entertaining in a good way. Sony and Microsoft, sometimes it's just so bad that it's funny. Like giant enemy crabs or little girls running up on the stage to play with Skittles. But Nintendo always has a really good entertainment value to their conferences, or digital conferences as we now will probably only have from now on. But right after that, they talk about Super Smash Brothers. Now, I already knew that new characters were going to be announced in characters were going to be announced during their digital event. That's because Smash Brothers is a big deal when it comes to Nintendo brand. Me and Shokyo, ever since the first one, we were hooked. N64, we played it at a friend's place, we were hooked. There was no putting down that game, and we've loved each and every single one. Smash Brothers is a big deal, and that's going to be a huge system seller. And with Smash Brothers, they introduced Mii Fighters. You got the Brawler Mii, the Sword Mii, as well as the Gunner Mii, all with their own different movesets. And from what I think I heard, they can't be used online. But that doesn't really matter. Now, I told Shokyo, I told him a long time ago that Mii's are gonna make it in Smash Brothers. And the main reason why I want it is because I make the most annoying looking Mii's. And Shokyo hates it. So can you imagine being destroyed by the most annoying looking Mii's? Too bad that's not online. Because that's all I would use. But as far as other Smash Bros. Information, Amiibo. I don't give a fuck about Amiibo. That's some Disney Infinity Skylanders bullshit. I don't know. I didn't really care as far as the information they showed. He put a little Mario figurine on the Wii pad, and it brought in a Mario fighter. I don't know. I think it's a bot or a CPU, I guess you guys would call it if you're familiar with Smash Brothers. First of all, I don't see people using the Wii pad to play Smash Brothers. That's why Nintendo brought in the GameCube controller again for Smash Bros. Because that is the ideal way to play Smash Brothers. So already, the hardcore audience for Smash Brothers is not going to be buying no Amiibo fucking figurines. It's just not going to happen. Let's see, Yoshi's Woolly World. Now, it doesn't look like a bad game, but I'm afraid that this game is going to suffer from the same thing that Kirby's Epic Yarn suffered from. Being too easy. I played Kirby Epic Yarn for a few hours, and it was just like strolling through the game. It was way too easy. Now, it is cool they have co-op play, but it looks slower paced than the original Yoshi's Island. And now that game is fucking brilliant, and that game is also still pretty hard in some areas. Hopefully it's still, you know, a challenging game. A lot of these newer, like, you know, Wii remakes of these, not remakes, but, you know, sequels that we've seen of older games, from what I've seen, a lot of them have been a little bit easier than their predecessors. You know, say for Donkey Kong and, you know, Punch-Out and stuff like that. Now, Toad has his own game. You heard me right. Fucking Toad has his own game. Captain Toad's, what is it? Treasure Tracker, whatever it's called? Now, of all the characters, I would have never expected Toad to get his own Wii U game. Toad? You know, when I think Toad, all I hear is, sorry, Mario, but your princess is in another castle. And all I hear is, wah, wah, woohoo! That's all I hear. That's all I can hear in my head. And this is no way I can translate Toad into having his own game. But Nintendo's doing it. Do I think it's gonna be a bad game? You know, it's Nintendo. They don't really make bad games. I'm sure it'll be a decent game, but I just can't imagine myself going out to spend $60 on a Toad game. Which, when I get a Wii U, I probably will anyway, just for curiosity's sake. Now, Zelda Wii U, even though all they showed was just like a CGI trailer, they said it was in-game graphics of what the game would look like. And it was lovely. And it was this connected world that they showed off. How something in the distance, in the forest, can come out, see you, and blaze across the field and attack you. Now, of course, I don't really get hyped on these kind of things at, at conferences and such. But if that is actually how the game works, it's going to be brilliant. And there aren't too many Zelda games that were bad. Rarely any. I can't really think of any at the moment. But let's see, they showed off Pokemon Omega Red. I don't care about that. Bayonetta 2 gameplay. Now, I played the first Bayonetta. It was great. And she is... Bayonetta is hot! Yes! Bayonetta is just everything I would want in a woman. So dominating. I just want to be tortured by her. Just step on me, Bayonetta! Crush me like the worm that I am! But that is definitely a game that I will have to get a Wii U to play. Made by Platinum Games. And now that I think about it, Microsoft's conference? What is it, Scalebound? Platinum Games? You guys better keep your eye on that game. Platinum Games really haven't made that many bad games, if any at all. They're the ones that made Mad World, Bayonetta 1 and 2, and there were some other ones, but as far as I know, they're all great, so keep your eye on Scalebound. Let's see, now, Zelda Hyrule Warriors. I'm pretty convinced it's going to be shit. Yeah. I know it's Zelda, but you know what it really is? All it is Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin. That is all it is. We've seen them do the same for Bleach. We've seen them do the same for One Piece. All it is a bunch of enemies all crowded around next to each other, just waiting for you to just come around and just swing your sword or whatever weapon you have everywhere. And oh look, I got a 200 hit combo. I can't imagine this game being good. It's just Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin. If you've never cared about Dynasty Warriors, there's no reason to buy this Zelda game. There really isn't. Let's see, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Now, if there was one game I would never expect to actually get a sequel, it's the Kirby, what is it, Curse Canvas or whatever it's called on the DS. I forget the actual name of it. But I would have never actually expected that game to get a sequel. Never. I was pleasantly surprised though, because the original one was great. So there is no doubt that this game is going to be just as great, if not better. They showed a CGI trailer of the X-Blade Chronicles, X or whatever, CGI. Mario Maker. It took Nintendo this long to make a game where you can make custom Mario levels. The thing that people have been already doing for decades on the PC. Nintendo is basically just taking a ROM hack and just making a game out of it and selling it. And then there's not even any multiplayer. There's no multiplayer. There's no offline multiplayer. There's no two players. You just make levels and play them. Now, I'm sure you can upload the levels online and download them, and you can share levels between each other. But as far as playing levels at the same time, or taking turns, you know, you'll just have to both be Mario. They can't give you the classic feel of having Mario and then someone playing Luigi. That just doesn't make sense to me. The whole Mario Maker thing is just late to the party, late to the game. That is one aspect of Mario that Nintendo should have capitalized on years ago. And they're just now taking advantage of it? I'm not going to be touching Mario Maker. And then they showed Smash Brothers. They showed another character that's going to be available. Lady Great Palutena, whatever. I don't know how to say her name. I don't care. All I know is she has green hair, she has a nice body, and I'm going to be using her in Smash Brothers. That's all I know. I'm not going to get into her moveset or anything because you guys probably already saw it. All I can say is that nice bod, green hair. Now, let's talk about the most interesting thing that Nintendo showed off at their digital conference. Splatoon. Splatoon looked amazing. Now, we all know that the whole multiplayer aspect on the Wii U is lacking, but Splatoon looks like a game that can really bring in the online multiplayer onto the Wii U. It looks fun, it looks like a game for all ages, and it looks like it actually has a real deep level of strategy. It's absolutely a different and amazing game. What else can I say? You got squid lollies spraying ink everywhere, and you can travel along your own ink, and you're slowing down in your opponent's ink. You can hide in your ink and ambush people. You have to spread ink to get your territory, and you have to capture each other's, territory and stuff. It looks like a fun fucking game. Just a strategical multiplayer game. Those are my favorite kinds. That's why I play Left 4 Dead 2 so much, because you have to work as a team, and there's a lot of strategy that goes. Splatoon is a day one buy for me. Day one. Now, Nintendo's overall digital conference, while they were very entertaining and they did show some great games, there was still a huge lack of content. Now, not only was their conference a lot shorter than the competitions, but there just wasn't that many talking points. There was like, what, 13, 14 talking points? That was it. Nintendo needs to, I know it just wasn't the digital event. I know there was the treehouse thing, but what is the point of splitting up your airtime? So that when people think one thing is finished, then 15 minutes later, oh, Nintendo's doing this over here. Oh, an hour later, Nintendo's doing this over here. It doesn't make sense to me. All it does is cause confusion and just breaks up the hype and the excitement. I don't want to sit there for 3 or 4 hours having to wait for Nintendo to actually get to all their events so I can actually learn everything they're going to do. And even after the digital event, there was very few things that were even worth mentioning that were announced at their treehouse and other bullshit. Like Mario Party 10. Mario Party 10. I wonder what that's going to play like. I can't wait for everyone to go into their deep analysis of Mario Party 10 and what's going to be different. The same way we have to go and have a deep analysis of the next Guitar Hero and the next Rock Band and the next Lego game. It's all the same shit with different skins, different songs. Same fundamental game. I can see why they didn't announce Mario Party 10 at their digital event, because it's really the most mundane announcement you can make. I can't imagine anyone excited for that. No one. Nada. Zip. Zero. Who's excited for Mario Party 10? This is that you can work your ass off to get all these fucking stars, and then at the end, you got niggas getting extra stars because they lost the most, or they won the most, or they stole the most, or they moved the most, other bullshit, and then they win after you worked your hardest getting from the bottom to the top. Mario Party is the most infuriating game you will ever play in your life. it's gonna turn your friends into enemies. And I'll probably buy it anyway. But again, while they did show some great games and also had an entertaining conference, just the length, cutting it up, and the small amount of actual content still makes it an average showing at E3. Average showing. The video where I compare all three is going to be very tough because I really do want to give a winner, but the big three are making that very difficult.